Hello kids, welcome to Leeds Online School. This is English Language Form 3. So one of the lessons that we have to cover for the first term is Summary Practice Passage 1 in Part 1 of your textbook. Okay, let's look at the objectives that we are going to fulfill while learning the lesson. The first one is to further understand, just write summaries because earlier we learned how we do it, and then to comprehensively understand how to answer a comprehension question, and then to add new words to the vocabulary, and to learn to write a summary out of a comprehension passage. Okay, when you are given a summary question, what are you expected to do at the exam? So you may be asked to make a summary of firstly maybe a prose passage, then a dialogue of an interview, or evidence in a court or a committee, a diary, or a letter, or a series of letters. So these are the areas which you will be asked to do a summary of. So when you are given a summary to do of the categories that we discussed, you may be asked to make a summary of the whole passage or part of it. Right? Then you may be asked to make a summary of one point or topic in a passage, or in more than one passage, right? And sometimes you may be asked to give a numbered list of kinds, facts, causes, characteristics, evidence in the given passage. Okay, now it's time for us to start learning the practice passage 1. So turn to page number 8 of your book and let's start learning the practice passage 1. Before starting to read the passage, I want you all to go through it and find out the words which are difficult for you. So here is a list of difficult words. I thought it might be difficult for you all, and I have given the meaning as well. Let's read and see. So underrated means you underestimate the extent or the importance of something, right? Then a maze is a network of paths, right? Designed as a puzzle where one has to find a way. Then you have primitive. Primitive means very basic, or you can, on the other hand, you can say unsophisticated. Stimulus, this is something you may know. Stimulus is a thing that arouses activity or energy. Foraging means to obtain by searching, that means mainly food. Then instincts, that means an innate, typically fixed pattern of behavior in animals, right, in response to some certain stimuli. Then you have brood. Brood means bee or wasp larvae. Then unceasingly means unending, endless. Cocoons are, it's something that encloses another thing, especially to protect it. Then aphid cows. Now I have given a picture of it. You can identify these type of ants are called aphid cows. Okay, now we have found out the meanings of difficult words. So it's our time to start reading the passage. So let's read the passage. Okay, let's read and try to understand what the passage is about. While the intelligence of ants is limited, for example, they have no proper language, cannot be said to reason, to think things out, and do not expect in one case use tools, their mental powers should not be underrated. So now when we think of this animal, particularly the ants, according to the text, their intelligence is limited, right? For an example, they don't have proper language, and they cannot use tools, and but still their mental power should not be underestimated. Underrated means underestimated. Experiments have shown that they can learn the correct route in simple mazes which have 6 blind alleys. So researchers have found out that they are capable of finding the routes in mazes, right? And individual ants vary in their ability to do this and in the speed or number of runs through the maze with which they learn their lesson. So, and on the other hand, we can see it differs from one ant to another. Their abilities differ from one ant to another, and the speed which they can go through these mazes. Just as in the maze, so it is in the world of work. Some individuals learn to do jobs better and more quickly than other ants in the nest. So when you check the whole nest, some individual ants are exceptional because they learn very quickly to do the job, right? These quicker learners are the primitive leaders of the community, the excitement center. So the ants who are able to learn very quickly, they are called the excitement centers. They are called excitement centers because although they determine what activities are carried out, and when they do not do so by sitting down and thinking about it and then giving directions to the other ants, but they excite the ants into doing the different jobs by starting to do them themselves. So the specialty of these excitement centers, specialty of these ants who are called excitement centers are what? They can find out, they can think about the activities that should be carried out, and they just don't sit and think about it, and they don't give direction to the other hands, but they do it. They make the others do it by doing the job themselves. That is the importance of these excitement centers. The excitement center ants are in effect the first individuals in each colony to respond to the stimulus of jobs needing to be done. So they are the first one which gives the other individuals, other ants, the colony, giving the response to the stimulus, the first job that to be done. The settling down to work are the 20 or 30 excitement center ants soon arouses in the other ants feeling of their own hunger and need to go out foraging, or of their own instincts to repair a broken part of the nest or to build new chambers to provide accommodation for a rapidly expanding brood. So they settle down to work of the 20 or 30 excitement centers ants, and then these ants also start working. They try to without in the other feelings, without taking to the consideration about their own hunger, and they try their best to do their job. Thanks to this leadership, the seemingly complex round of jobs the ants community is fairly economically and successfully achieved. So because of this good leadership, their jobs are quickly done and successfully achieved. Because why? Now these are very small animals, right? So their jobs, the things that they have to do daily is complex, right? Food getting is the most important task. So for animals, the most important thing they have to do is food getting. It is no light one to get in food enough for from 40,000 to 500,000 individuals each day. So they have to find food for 40,000, from 40,000 to 500,000 individuals every day. So that is very difficult task. A colony of 40,000 carnivorous ants will eat a quart of insect food. So if the colony consists 40,000 carnivorous. Carnivorous means meat-eating ants. They will eat a quart of insect food, which is equivalent to over 20,000 insects. So they need 20,000 insects per day, every day during the active summer months. Yet there are always several times more ants in the nest than there are out foraging. Inside the nest, the queens must be carefully tended and guarded. So not only the food finding, but they have to take care of the queen as well. And the eggs they lay carried off to the appropriate chamber. So on the other hand, taking care of the queen, and on the other hand, they have to take away the eggs that are being laid to the appropriate, suitable room. The brood require constant attention. So the brood is needed. The larvae needs a lot of attention. For the larvae must be fed and unceasingly licked. So the larvae should be given food, and on the other hand, it should be unceasingly, endlessly licked so that their skin are kept moist. Why do they need endless licking? Because the skin should be kept moist, and the cocoons must be watched so that ants ready to hatch out can be helped to emerge. So this is the process of giving birth to an ant. So these things should be done carefully. Few ants can escape from their cocoons or pupal skins unaided. Some are capable of. Some ants can come out with their own. The nest structure also requires continual care and must be kept scrupulously clean, properly drained, and proof against enemy invasion. So the structure of the nest should be kept clean, and there should be a good, it should be properly drained, and on the other hand, it should be ready for enemy invasion. Then there are the aphid cows. I showed you a picture of aphid cows. So they are called green flies, black flies, and white flies, both inside and outside the nest to be milked, or other guests to be tended or kept for prowling too near the queens or brood. So these ants are used to outside or inside the nest to be milked, right, and to tend the other guests, and kept near the queens or the brood. For in each ant's nest, there are many such insect guests, especially of the beetle kind. So, in each ant's nest, these type of guests are there, mainly of the beetle kind. Some 5,000 species of insects and spiders are found only in the nest of ants. So, you can find nearly 5,000 species of insects, right, and spiders in the ant nest, living there permanently as they are welcome to or tolerated lodgers. So they are being tolerated because they are guests in the ant's nest, because they live there permanently, because they are being welcomed and they are tolerated. I think you were able to understand the text properly. Now it's your time to answer the questions given. So you have got 5 questions which are of multiple choice. So you can you are given the question and 4 answers are given as A, B, C, D. So you can choose the correct answer, right? So I think you are capable of doing it here. Okay, now we have reached the end of the presentation. So let's look at the summary of what we learned. We learned further details about summarizing, and we learned to clearly understand a comprehension passage. Then we learned to effectively answer a comprehension question. Okay, my dear kids, we have reached the end of the presentation, and I hope you were able to understand the text clearly, and you're having a good idea of how to write an answer for a comprehension question. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for listening. See you again in another video.